What's going on, everybody? It's Derrick.
And it's Doug.
And the Uncle Sam.
What's going on, everybody? It's episode 67.
Nice. Oh, hey. We don't know how to count. Yay.
I noticed
Derrick
that
doesn't know how
last
to
week. Because we were like, it's episode 66. It's actually, last week was actually episode 65. This one would be 66.
Thanks, Sam.
I was like, just go with it.
Doug?
I was like, just go with it.
Roll with it. Cool.
It's the missing episode that'll someday come out.
What episode are we technically right now?
We should be on episode... Oh, that list went away. Let me look it up real fast. Quick, vamp.
Blood, I want to suck your blood.
Not like that. We should be technically on 66.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. So, today's topic is... Are video game remakes good or bad for the gaming ecosystem?
Ooh.
I'm actually excited for this one. As opposed to all the other weeks where I'm clearly not excited now.
Clearly not. Well, you haven't been on a podcast in like a month.
No, I haven't. No, I actually haven't, because last week was you two.
Yep.
Then the week before that was all the Christmas and stuff. Christmas thing, pretty much December.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you are completely right there.
Sam and I are more committed than you, just FYI.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Our great and glorious leader has returned.
Alright, cool. I'll see you guys later. Oh, you want those edits done later? No. So, yeah. You guys have anything? Did you guys do anything fun this week?
I went through and I sobered up my keyboard. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Because you spilled a nice beverage on it.
Yeah. It survives, and it's still functioning, except for the Windows Store key, and as we were joking, who uses that anyway?
If only they replaced it with like a Steam key.
Yeah, that'd be like fantastic. Keyboard's like, hey, I'm going to open up Steam for you. It's like, hey, my wallet has never been more angry at you.
I had to finally close Steam, because I just tend to leave it open. I had to close it, because otherwise I was in the store every day going, anything cool on sale? And there have been so many times where I'm like, I've been wanting this game.
I'll never play it.
I feel like the worst thing for my wallet is the Humble Bundle emails that get sent to me all the time.
Hey, did you see the Humble Bundle email today about Civ 6?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to put that out of my mind, though.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, $12 goes out of my bank account now.
But it's $12 for like 8,000 hours of Civ 6.
It is true.
Yeah, that's true.
If you calculate that out, that's like 2 cents an hour or something like that.
You're making this easy to justify. But honey,
Right?
it's only 2 cents an hour.
I feel like we would be out of luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So otherwise, I've got fiber this week.
Nice.
I've actually not worked a full week since middle of December. Because...
Why?
What? How did you do that?
Well, because Christmas was on Monday. And then New Year's was on Monday. The week after that, I had to take Friday off because I was, we couldn't get a babysitter for our daughter, so I was like, I'll take PTO. And then this week, we were installing fiber, and they're like, it'll come between midnight and 11:59 p.m. Well, they actually gave me a more strict window, but it was like, we'll show up when we feel like it. And they actually
how about
showed
next
up,
Tuesday?
They did show up in the nice window, and we got fiber, and now I'm hardwired into gigabit internet.
And you've been doing ungodly things by being able to upload entire gigabyte files in less than, 3 minutes?
When I uploaded bite-sized news on Friday, generally it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes or longer to upload 10 minutes. Because half the time my USB Wi-Fi adapter would disconnect mid-upload and be like,
nice.
I just don't know. And this one, with fiber, with it being hardwired, I was like, oh, 2 minutes and it's done. Oh, cool. Thank God I said it's scheduled first. Otherwise, it would have made it public right now. So, it's exciting. I'm ready to upload something larger like this and watch how long that takes.
Doug sitting here is like, I hate your guts right now.
I really do.
It was actually, I'm really happy with, I'm actually really happy with it. Because it's affordable, in all honesty.
Oh, yeah.
And plus, the more you use the internet, the more affordable it is. If you only checked, like, Facebook, it'd be like, really, why are you paying, like, a gigabit of internet? Or it's like, I upload everything and download everything and play games online. That makes it cheaper.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like that going back to 2 cents an hour for Civ 6. Which, Sam, do you remember it's $12 on Humble Bundle?
By the end of this podcast, I will own it.
There you go.
Then my work is done. The only exciting thing I did this week was notice that the check engine light was on. Me and my fiance shared car, and it was just like, where's the nearest bridge I can jump off of?
Yeah.
But it's able to drive, though, right? It's not making any weird noises.
No, it's not making weird noises. It's not doing anything funky.
I think that would be more concerning than if it was.
Yeah, but it's just like, I'm still able to get to work, but, you know, here's the thing, like, my fiance is way more worried about that than I am, because, like, we're still able to get to work. Let me take a day off when you're off work, and then I can just sit there at the mechanic all day. Instead of, like, let me drop you off at work in the middle of the day and have to come pick you up. So, there's a bit of struggle there today.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because I had to take it to Pep Boys, and they're like, yeah, we'll get to it tomorrow morning. And I'm like, haha, no you won't, peace. And I left.
Especially with, like, it being pure ice outside right now.
Right? That was like, okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a thing.
I did get to play a fun game on Xbox that I think you both would like.
Okay.
It's called Turing Test.
Go on.
Ooh, go for it.
It is like Portal, except not made by Valve. So, like, you've got this energy gun that can absorb charges, so you can put them into, like, plugs in the wall that power different things, open doors, turn on bridges, and the whole time you're getting talked to by an AI. So you're sitting there going, okay, cool. The AI is like, yeah, I can't solve these puzzles because they're part of a Turing test. Because these puzzles require ingenuity, creativity, and everything. But the whole time you're sitting there going, but am I an AI? It is.
Am I really?
It's really good. Like, I went to go look up a puzzle solution, and only, like, one website had actually done anything with it. And I was like, I feel like more people should be aware of this game.
Oh, yeah.
I picked it up for Xbox Gold free, like, a month and a half ago. And I just got around to playing it. I was like, oh my gosh. This is really good. So I think you should look it up.
I'll have to do that.
I think I will. I like anything with Turing test in them.
Mm-hmm.
I like anything with Turians in them.
All right. I know that's for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to move on to the YouTube roundup?
Yeah.
Okay. The first one we had up was the importance of community. Now, I've actually heard of the artists, the YouTube channel, and I know Doug has. Had you heard of this group, Sam?
I have not, and actually I was, like, trying to catch up on the video that were right before you sent it to here, and I hadn't heard of them before, but enlighten me.
So they are a couple. They're a Canadian couple that went to Korea as English teachers years ago, almost a decade at this time. And they eventually became full-time filmmakers, vloggers.
Nice. YouTube creators.
Yeah, YouTube creators. That's a better word than vloggers. And they have their own community called they're the Nasties. And so they were talking about how, more than anything, the community is the best part of being a creator. Did I get that right, Doug?
Yeah. Basically, like, one of the creators, Martina, because it's a couple, Simon and Martina. Martina does suffer from, like, a, what was it, EDS or something like that?
Yeah,
Something
basically,
like
like, her ligaments don't
Ligamentize.
ligament.
Yeah.
So, like, dislocates joints all the time.
Huh.
And so, like, she was talking that the community, seeing that, she's like, she posts something on Twitter like, I was able to get up and go water the plants, because along with the EDS, it deals with a lot of depression, and they've had a few videos that have talked about, just openly about, depression and what's going on, and not the surefire way to beat it, but just, it doesn't have to be going out and conquering the world. It can be something as basic as, sitting up and putting on a pair of socks and feeding the cat. It's the simple victories. And so they've dealt with a lot of stuff in the past. Over Christmas, they almost lost their dog because the dog almost was paralyzed. And so it was just like a lot of stuff has happened in the almost decade they've been creators, and I've followed them for almost a decade.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so,
And so they're talking about community.
Go ahead.
And they're talking about their community and how they actually go back and read the comments. You know how everyone who's a creator says, oh, if you want to be happy, don't look at your comments. They go and look at the comments and talk with their fans, and it creates a community of, instead of like that, the screen is the barrier where you have creators and you have content viewers, there's a community there, if that makes sense.
That makes complete sense to me.
It's interesting. There are some groups that are like, oh, we've done live events now, and this is becoming like a trend. What was it? The Achievement Hunter guys, they started doing Let's Play Live. And then Game Grumps done Game Grumps Live. And then all the other creators started to do live events. These couple has been doing live events since, like, 2010, practically. So they went and spoke at certain events, they've set up stuff so that they can meet and greet with fans for almost a decade at this point. So it's like, it's really cool that they've been a part of their community for such a long time in a personal aspect, not just like, oh, we chat on Reddit or Twitter or YouTube or whatever. It's like, no, I've seen you, I've talked to you, I've went to coffee with you guys. It's really cool.
Well, it's that interaction where you go through and you engage with those who are your followers. It's not a matter of, oh, hey, I just simply follow you and watch your videos. It's a matter of, if I send you any feedback, you actually listen to me. And, of course, if I ask for your feedback, you give it to me. So they have more voice, and it is a community instead of just a matter of creators and consumers. It's a, hey, let's go ahead and let's have a mutual relationship that we can go through and feed off of, which, if they've been doing it for 10 years and had followers for 10 years, I mean, that shows you how effective they are at doing that.
Yeah.
I know of a lot of YouTubers that it's like, oh man, people follow them for like 1 or 2 months, and then they're like, they haven't really done anything different, and then they unfollow them. And then it's just like, okay, well, it's because they didn't really do anything to interact with that fan base per se.
And I think a lot of they struck it early because they, in a weird way, they got into YouTube like in the golden era of YouTube. Back before it was all, Jimmy Kimmel videos and last week tonight and all this stuff. It's like,
or all the like Vine compilations, even though Vine's been dead for however many years.
Yeah, they got on when YouTube was like, share videos with your family. So that's what they started as, is like, hey, we're Canadians coming to South Korea, and this is some of the differences that we've noted. Like, these are the snacks that you can get, and the food you can get, and the dances for pop songs that... And from there, it's like, okay, cool. It was that this is a discovery, and they started going to like different restaurants and trying food, and like just doing new stuff on YouTube, and not just doing a one-trick pony thing, It's like one of the channels where I have like this anxiety. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't watched their videos in like a month. I feel actually bad for not watching their videos because I'm like, I love their stuff.
Not keeping up with them.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, I feel so bad.
I mean, when I seen on Instagram over Christmas that their dog Spudgy lost the use of his back legs, I'll have to admit, I got a lump in my throat because I'm like, I've seen when they adopted this dog. This dog will live forever. Because
I like to think that.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like it's a community, and like I said, I've been watching them for a good part of the decade, and that goes back to when I was 18, before I went to college, before I did anything with my life. It's just like I've been watching them, and it's really cool to see. Go back and watch their first video and then their latest video, and you're just like, they've metamorphized as much as I have.
Yeah.
Is okay. I'm going to ask a question. Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now.
I mean, well, it sounded. You said it so confidently that I almost I was like, he could be right. But
it's kind of like what my old college roommate said. He's like, Doug, when I first met you, I really didn't like you. And now that I, you're in your senior year, it's like, you've metamorphized into this toxic butterfly. I'm like, thanks, Steve.
This toxic butterfly. I won't remember that. What's your team name? The Toxic Butterflies?
Flap, yeah, man. Flap, yeah. That's a Futurama joke, by the way.
Yeah. I was just going to say, that reminds me of that Futurama episode.
Yeah, I was watching that last night.
Nice.
I think wrapping that video up, I think that's as creators, I think we can all agree we'd love to have that kind of community in our own way.
Oh yeah.
Who was it that was saying I want to be the next so and so, I want to be the next Casey Neistat, I want to be the next achievement hunter or whatever. No, you don't. You want to be your own thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Bernie Burns might have said that, and Bernie Burns is dead.
Yeah.
Rip.
Hey, Rip. That man is a legend.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
All right, the Nintendo Direct Mini from January 11th of this year.
Yes.
Did you gents watch it?
I watched it, and there's a couple of those titles that I'm really excited about.
Yes. I'm actually excited for the Kirby game.
Oh, yeah. I watched it, I was 98% of the games, I was like, okay.
Actually, I'm on the opposite kind of side of that. I was like, there seems to be a lot of cool games, but there's only a couple that I'm for sure are probably going to be buying.
Kirby, Dark Souls, Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Don't you hate on Mario Tennis Aces, man?
I'm probably going to get Mario Tennis.
I was like, eh.
Okay, I have this love-hate memory of going through and playing Mario Tennis on my Game Boy Color for the longest time. So I pretty much go through and I try and get any Mario Tennis game that I can.
I don't blame you there. It was looking cool, but there's a lot of Metroidvania style games that I was just like, eh. I'd really rather Animal Crossing.
Well, here's the thing. This is just the mini direct. Because here's what they're going to do. Within the next 20 days, because usually they have a Nintendo Direct, but within 20 days before that, there's a Direct Mini. Because what they're doing is they're showing off the smaller titles that, were you anticipating a Kirby game? Oh my gosh, there's going to be a Kirby game. Yes!
Not really.
Exactly. So what they're doing is they're showing off the smaller games, and then within the next 20 days, it's going to be, here's Metroid Prime 4, here's Animal Crossing, here's all these big titles. Because if I view it like this. If I give you $1 million right now, and next week I give you $1,000, are you going to be excited for the $1,000? Not as much.
Yeah.
However,
Well,
if today...
money is money, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can pay my bills with that. However, if today I gave you $1,000, and then next week I gave you $1 million, you're going to be so excited for the million.
True.
Yeah, I can get it. I can dig it. And it's one of those, it's almost like a pre-order. It sounds weird but for Nintendo to do this, but almost like a pre-order trap. And these games are all available for pre-order. I run out to the store, pre-order Kirby, Dark Souls, and Mario Tennis. And then next week they go, and here's the Direct, and here's all of these massive games. Animal Crossing, Mega Man, Metroid, and Mario. And it's like,
But here's the thing. This mini direct was this year's releases. They can say, oh, here's our Metroid Prime 4 trilogy game that's going to release next year. Okay, cool. Here's Animal Crossing in 2019. They can do the Direct Mini, and have all the releases for this year.
But I don't want Animal Crossing next year. I want it now.
Nice.
Sam, have you played Animal Crossing ever?
Yes, I played it on the GameCube.
Okay.
You mean the best cube?
Yeah, the best cube, the best version of it.
Yeah. Actually, I like New Leaf.
You know what? I was actually going to agree with Sam there. The GameCube version was the best version. And there is actually a cool secret about that game. You
Do enlighten us.
If you put it in your GameCube, you play it, you load up your character and you start playing it, the best prank is to open up the disc tray and grab the disc from the GameCube. The game still plays.
Nice.
The game does not need the disc. It's great when someone else is playing it and you just pop open their GameCube and take the disc from them, and they're like, "Dude, you're gonna ruin my game." Nah, it's all good. Because all of the town data is saved on the memory stick.
Nice.
How I found this out, it was before the golden age of the internet, so I don't know.
You probably just...
probably both of you guys pressed the wrong button. You're like, oh no, I just ruined the game.
You forgetty to save, now you get resetty.
Yes.
So, there's a couple other games on there that I was like, they're Metroidvania games. The world will never be satisfied with the number of we have.
Do we really need another Dark Souls remastered version?
Yes, we do.
I've already played Dark Souls a lot.
But now you can play Dark Souls in the bathroom.
Now
Or Payday 2, the heist.
Now everyone on the bus can hear you yell and cuss and scream about how that is complete crap.
Or get the crap scared out of you by anything in the middle of like a public area. Oh my gosh! Oh,
is that a skeleton?
Oh my gosh, is that the asylum demon?
Guys, I want to make a new series.
So, I'm also excited for Donkey Kong Country Freeze, because it's one of those games I want to play with my fiance, because I have this feeling that there's going to be like a threat of a divorce or like leaving someone. Stop jumping on my head. I need those lives.
I've jokingly said that the closest me and my wife have ever come to having marital problems is trying to play Legend of Zelda 4 Sword Adventure on DS.
Nice.
Because it's one of those, okay, stop chucking bombs at me. No, stop chucking bombs at me. If you don't stop chucking bombs at me! It's like, maybe for the sake of our marriage we shouldn't play this together. Because I'm very much like a go get 'em, like get all the collectibles, like let's just go, let's do this. And so I tend to ruin gaming experiences with people unless
like
they
Shovel
also
Knight.
know it.
Like Snipper Clips.
Yeah. So it's like any game that's not competitive is about to be.
Yeah.
Fair.
So
Do we need to have an intervention?
am I addicted?
Maybe.
Well, we weren't going to say it. You have to. First step is admission.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
real fast. The talk of Donkey Kong Country Freeze could actually bring up our main topic.
I believe so.
Yep. That's a good segue, actually. Thank you.
And so I'm gonna
impressive.
reintroduce our topic.
That was impressive. Go for it.
Are video game remakes good or bad for the gaming ecosystem? This is, being as it's a complicated problem, I'm sure we all have our own opinions. So,
go ahead.
what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set a timer. Each of you will have 2 minutes to talk about whether you believe, yes or no, it's a bad or good thing. Does that work with everyone?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
And then we can discuss it.
All right, sounds good.
Sam?
Sounds good to me.
Alright, so who wants to go first?
Sam, go ahead.
All right, I'll go.
Your time starts now.
All right, so I believe that they're actually really bad for the gaming ecosystem. The primary example of this was, we were actually talking about it last week, the Halo Remastered series. My question is, how many people actually went out and bought the remastered game set versus the people that joke around saying, hey, let's go play the classic on my old Xbox all the time? By going through and remaking a classic video game, a lot of times other additions are added in, which some people don't like. But in addition to that, it takes away from developing new games. So it's like, oh, let's focus on the classic and never change anything about it. And basically you have all these developers and these great, talented guys out there spending their entire life basically rehashing something that somebody else already did. So there's that. There is a flip side where I kind of do agree to it. And every time there's a new gaming system, yeah, feel free to re-release or remaster a little bit so you can download it to the latest version of your Xbox or anything like that. So say you don't have to keep your old Xbox, even though, let's be honest, we would all keep our original Xboxes if we wanted to. But for the most part, I would say it's harmful. What about you, Derek?
You still have 40 seconds.
Oh, I still have 40 seconds? Okay, well, I can ad-lib as much crap as I can here. Let's see.
You can sing a little song.
Well, I would say the biggest disappointment in Rehash Out was, like, Xbox attempt to report all the Banjo-Kazooie games, and they never worked when they ported them over. So I spent, like, $30 trying to get all those onto my Xbox 360 a while back, and it did not work at all. So that's my thoughts behind it, but, to each their own.
And 10 seconds.
And I'll sit here and stare at my computer screen for 10 seconds while you guys listen to...
Dead air. Well, now it's like 0 seconds, so
Okay.
Time's up.
Cool.
I like it.
All right, Derek, and time's starting now.
First and foremost, I am a hypocrite. I actually kind of agree with you, Sam, that gaming remakes are actually not good for the economy. A lot of for the same reasons. But then I'm also on the side of, but did you see Secret of Mana remake, though? Yes. But did you see this other remake? It's like, remake for me, I was like, not needed, not needed, not needed, until it's the game that I want remade. So, but there are some games that I don't think should be remade, like classic games like Chrono Trigger, Breath of Fire, Illusion of Gaia, a lot of the Super NES games. But then the other half of me goes, yeah, but it would be pretty sweet, though, to be able to play Chrono Trigger in an HD environment with smoother graphics and stuff like that. So, I say they're bad, but I think they're only bad so much as there are games I'm not interested in. And then as soon as there is something that I'm interested in, I'm all about it. So I don't think that there's a good answer for this question. I think they're, for a lot of the same reasons you say they're bad, I think that they're partially good because a new generation of kids can run out and go buy the new Halo game. Maybe they're the ones that didn't get to have the original Xbox. Because I know I actually never owned an Xbox till Xbox 360, and I got that late in its development. So I never played Halo, Halo 2. I only joined in at Halo 3. So I didn't get those. I never actually played Banjo-Kazooie games, like, at all, until they were remastered. So I think it's one of those questions of, is it a game you're interested in or not? I think there should be a waiting period, though.
Time's up.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
I will give myself 2 minutes.
All right.
All right, and 2 minutes is starting now. My fellow Americans, I'm here to tell you that gaming remakes are a wonderful thing. I will give you an example. Shadow of the Colossus for PlayStation 2. It was a great game, but it came out in a time where people weren't wanting a strategic game with big action in a platforming 3D environment. That game is now on the PlayStation 4, and it is an amazing game. I would also like to bring to your attention the aforementioned Secret of Mana, a beautiful game with beautiful music that I still remember, but it's being remade for the PlayStation 4, so I have opportunity to play it with my loved ones who've never played it. I would also like to bring forward the BioShock series. That it had a few bugs on the Xbox 360, but now it's remastered along with all of its lost DLC. Because yes, I could go back and I could get a used 360 copy, but I would be unable to play any of its DLC. I would only be able to play the story, and that's it. I may want to go back and play BioShock Infinite and its Burial at Sea. However, before this remaster, I would be unable to do so. I would be unable to see the story of Elizabeth in Rapture. So my fellow Americans, I would like to say, gaming remakes aren't bad. They spurn on a new generation with our generation's games, our masterpieces. We're able to sift out all the filler games and bring just the gems for our new generation, for our sons and our daughters. Thank you and good night.
Insert clap and applause here.
And I came right to my 2 minutes.
Exactly. It's like you had rehearsed this or something.
I did not, actually. I was making that up.
I loved it.
I thought it was great.
I think they're a double-edged sword.
They really aren't. They really are.
They really are, I believe. The reason being is that there are some games that I really wish that people would go through and remaster over and over again. For example, I would be really appreciative if they made like Fallout 3 again with actual good graphics, whereas like all they've done, or I would even take that back, Fallout New Vegas remastered with better graphics. Because I thought that was the better of the two games. But as of right now, there's really nothing there except for mods you can get, which they are pretty cool.
How about Portal?
Portal would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a reason to remake the Portal. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not
They could add.
Go ahead.
You could add in all the DLC, like not the DLC packs, but like different textures, new puzzles, and implement Portal. Some Portal 2 ideas into Portal 1 to make the gameplay a little bit smoother.
Then you're just
and
making Portal 3.
Yeah, and then you could just say, oh, and here's new levels. Don't release it as Portal 3. Release it's Portal 1, 1 and 2 remastered. Oh, hey, and there's a quote-unquote day one update that's Portal 3.
But how much of this comes to, hey, I'm a gaming company, and instead of going through and working on a brand new project, I'm going to try and make money by rehashing out the same exact game. And the question I really want to know is how much time goes into remaking the game, because it's not necessarily level remaster or like storyline remastering, it's more graphics remastering for everything.
I think a bit of work goes into it, because you have to make sure that the bit mapping and it doesn't clip and it plays nice with the existing physics.
Actually, knowing how some of the 3D rendering is done, it's actually not that difficult, and I say that as an armchair game designer, because it's all textures. As long as they've got the files, which if they're remastering it, they do, it's all you have to do is just up-res them.
True.
Just reapply textures, redo some shaders and stuff like that. And if you're doing a true remaster, they're probably going to leave the same bugs, they're going to leave the same glitches. So unless they're doing a complete, like The Secret of Mana, which was originally 16-bit from the SNES, and they're bringing it to a 3-dimensional world, they have to actually remake the entire game. Whereas if they did Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, all they're going to be doing is just reapplying some better-looking textures.
It is true. Hey, Doug, are you getting Derrick clipping out a little bit?
Not like clipping audio, but like he's going in and out on occasion.
A little bit. So just want to give you that warning. Yeah. He does that all the time. Now, there are some games, I'm looking at my list, my Steam list here, that they did some decent remasters. I mean, one remaster that scares the crap out of me was the original Resident Evil HD remaster.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was terrifying when I played it the first time, and now with updated graphics, even more horrifying. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, that looks realistic.
I'm not sleeping tonight.
My neighbor just heard me scream like a little girl. That's great.
Right?
Yeah. I can totally get that.
The only thing my argument is that it goes back to the greed of a corporation level again. Like I said, re-releasing it to download on the next system is good, but it's kind of goes back to the original Xbox 360 to Xbox One or the Xbox to Xbox 360 debate where it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, your games are compatible with the next one, and then it ended up that they weren't.
I think it ultimately just depends upon the company.
Like EA.
Well, yeah. They're an easy target, though. I was going to go... Think about, like, Squaresoft with The Secret of Mana.
Mm-hmm.
This puts them in a good position that if they decide to do the sequels to the game, they've already got the game system done, some of the assets. They've already pretty much got the groundwork done. So it's like, oh, if this game is well received, they can immediately do the sequels. So it's like, okay, cool. But I feel like what I was saying right at the time, that there should be a time limit, like a time gap. Because, like, I've seen some games that it's like, Skyrim is one of the worst defenders. It's like, Skyrim. Now you have Skyrim Master Edition. Now you have Skyrim Game of the Year Edition. Now you have Skyrim for the Xbox One. Now you have Skyrim for the Switch. And it's like, alright, we get it. Like, Skyrim is the new Doom. We get it on every console. But it's like, but you're not actually changing anything. Like,
now,
you're not making it better. You're just selling the same product again.
And I buy the same product.
Yeah, but also going on the lines of, like you were saying, BioShock. Like, when a new game's about to come out, and say it's however many years in the future, 5 years, 6 years, and people never played the first one, it's like, yeah, why not we go through and we release the remastered version, like, right before? It's like, hey, in anticipation for the new one, why don't you go through and play this, or the remastered of the original, so it's more of a, I would guess, say, an easy transition into it, where it's not like, man, this graphic looks like crap, and the flood looks like a bunch of pixels in the original, and then now it looks like, oh my gosh, it's a person being eaten by a parasite kind of deal.
Yeah.
Do you think it could also be used to test the waters?
I definitely
like,
think so.
Like, hey, we're pushing out BioShock collection, right?
Yeah.
HD remaster. Then they go, based upon the sales, are people still interested in BioShock? Yes? No. Yes? Maybe we make a new BioShock. No? Okay, well, we made money enough to cover this game, and fans of the old game, they get their game.
Well, here's the thing. Alright, Dark Souls remastered for the Switch. That is a big jump. Because up until this point, like, Nintendo's done, yeah, they've done third-party titles, but this is like a super serious, I want to say mature, but not like mature game.
Yeah,
To
it's
bring
not
it to
a
the
kid's
Switch.
cartoon.
Yeah, it's not Legend of Zelda or Mario. This is a tough-as-nails, rage-inducing game that has a huge fan base. They can remaster it and not really have to change a lot and say, do Switch owners want this? And would it be worth our time to put 2, 3, and then put Dark Souls 4 on the Switch? Or do we just want to stick with PC, Xbox, and PlayStation? Because we know it sells there.
It's a good question.
True. But also, the question becomes, is it because we've lost the creator aspect of a game? Like, I understand coming out with a new version of a game. Like, I'm not even mad at the Final Fantasy for however many games they've released, because it's a great game.
Each game is a different game.
Yeah, each game is a different game, but there's always that creative aspect where all that thought and creativity went into the next game, where it's like, okay, well, we don't really have to do that to make money. Let's just re-release the new one with remastered graphics. So we don't see a lot of change inside of all the modern games that we have. But to be fair, you can also have that same level of laziness as a developer too, because let's be honest, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 are all the same game.
Yeah. I was actually going to mention Far Cry.
Yeah.
Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Far Cry Primal, and now Far Cry 5. They're basically the same game, just set in different modes.
I will object. Far Cry Primal is a lot different than Far Cry 4.
Well, yeah, because you don't get guns.
Yeah,
the
and
one
you
that
don't
is a
climb
big
a
one-
radio tower.
That and you,
The-
you get mauled by mammoths in the first 5 minutes, like Doug found out.
Yeah, but Far Cry Primal is a lot harder.
Fair. We'll remove that from the thing, but it's like
Alright.
Far Cry 3, 4, and 5. Well, we can't speak for sure for 5,
I'm really hoping that it's not going to be, but
but
Far
3
Cry
and
5
4
is
are
different.
nearly the same.
Far Cry 5 will be different. One, there's no radio towers.
yay! But you get to kill bald eagles, right?
Yeah, apparently.
It's the most
I have a quick
un-American
question.
thing you can do.
Right?
Shifting tracks just a tad bit. Here's a question: can we afford not to buy remakes? And here's my reasoning. Okay, they're releasing Secret of Mana next month. If we don't buy it, the developers are going to say, "Huh, apparently no one's interested in the continuation or revival of the Mana series." That will now become a dead title. We won't get Secret of Mana for our Switch. We won't get, any of the other games, like Sword of Mana, Children of Mana, for our Switch, for PlayStation, whatever. It's a dead series, and it will never be revived.
So basically, you're saying, are we supposed to give in to Stockholm Syndrome?
Here's the question. It's kind of like having a crappy car. Like having a car. My Buick. It's a crappy car. My question is, can we afford not to put money into it? If I put more money into it, it will continue. It'll be a good car, but then I'll be able to save up time to afford a new car. Or do I just go, it's not worth it? And then that becomes a dead car, and now I have to start from the ground up. Does that make sense?
It does. I think the answer is buying games that you love or are going to like, and not just buying games because the developer is the developer you like. Look at like Assassin's Creed or Infinity Ward with the Call of Duty series. People buy a game because it's part of the Call of Duty series or the Assassin's Creed series or the Far Cry or Fallout. But it's like, if you didn't enjoy the games, I actually kind of regret buying Fallout 4 because I actually didn't enjoy Fallout 3 all that much.
To be fair, yeah.
But I was like, I should like Fallout 4. And it's one of those, like, I kept telling myself, I should like this game. I should like this game. And I didn't, but I gave them $60 anyway. So buy games that you are actually going to like, and not just games that you feel like you should like.
True.
Because
Kinda
otherwise
like
you're going to end up with Call of Duty 7, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 5.7, or Far Cry 12. If you buy games that you're going to enjoy, buy all the sequels you want. But if you're just buying it for the title, for the developer, for this or that reason, then are you buying it for the good reason? Or are you just handing over your wallet going, take my money because I feel you deserve it, even though you haven't earned it?
I agree, but that being said, I will always buy an Elder Scrolls game.
You'll what?
That being said, I agree, but I will always buy a Elder Scrolls game.
And I'll be
Because
honest,
you
I
actually-
will always get the Fallout game because I'm really a huge fan of the Fallout franchise.
Because you really enjoy it.
Yes.
It hasn't let you down.
it hasn't.
It's
Well, it has and it hasn't.
Okay, fair game. But you see my point. Instead of just going, well, I have to get it because it's
Here's
this
the-
game. Well, if you're not into it,
Skyrim's one of those games that I can play it obsessively for like a month and then never not play it for like 3, and I'm just fine because I do what I set out to do in the game. Like I recently started playing before I started playing Far Cry, and I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna play this, and I got really far, And I'm like, okay, I've had my fun. I'm done playing this character. And I deleted the character.
There you go.
It's like, I completed what I wanted to do, and so I'm done playing this for a while.
Makes sense. So, anything else on this topic?
I think I've said my piece.
Buy Secret of Mana.
By Secret of Mana.
Oh, I am. I absolutely am.
Hashtag, please re-release. Insert
Hashtag-
game title here.
Hashtag, please sponsor us. No.
Hashtag not my Resident Evil.
Anyway, moving forward. The weekly challenge this week is least favorite game of the past 5 years.
Oh man, I don't even have to think about that one.
Go for it.
Homefront: The Revolution.
I thought you were going to say Mass Effect Andromeda just to irritate me.
Oh no, I was about to say there were some things about Andromeda. The reason why I hated Andromeda was just because of the sloppiness of the game release. That was really the highest hatred point of that entire game. Whereas I tried, like, Homefront, the original, came out and was really controversial because it was underwhelming, and everybody's like, oh yeah, Homefront: The Revolution's coming out, which, if you guys don't know, it's the story of however North Korea somehow invades the United States and takes us over, because they built a backdoor, like, virus program into all of the weapons that they sold us, which, hey, hashtag could happen.
Yeah.
But I started the game, and there were so many glitches in it. The storyline was just so boring, and then it was just basically like the Far Cry, hey, go capture this checkpoint, and it becomes under your control, and you get a slight benefit, and more buddies are going through and hanging out in this area. But there really wasn't any reason for me to finish past the second level.
Huh.
It was that
Really?
bad of a game. It was just awful.
Okay. Doug?
I would say... Let me think for a second.
AKA you're pulling something up, right?
No.
No,
You can't prove it.
not at all.
Oh, no. This is going to be controversial. Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Fair game.
I'm going to withhold my judgment because I've only played, like, the first level of that so far. I was planning on teaming up with Micah and doing a playthrough of it, but never got around to doing it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fun game, but by making it between 1 and 2, they took away some of the mystery of one of the main villains.
Okay.
Like, have you had anything spoiled with it there, Sam?
No, but you can feel free to go ahead because I have a feeling I'm probably not going to ever get around to playing it because I'm in the middle of Binary Domain right now.
You basically you can play as a doppelganger of Handsome Jack, and Handsome Jack is one of the main characters. And if you've played Borderlands 2, you are introduced to Handsome Jack in the game as just this almost, I want to say, if you've ever watched, and you probably should never watch, the TV show Archer, that is how he's written. It's very much a silly, I'm going to insult you and laugh, and you're going to laugh the whole time. But when you go back and explore his backstory, it's like, that he becomes less interesting. You've humanized the person you're not supposed to humanize.
The most interesting man in the world you've humanized now, so
yeah.
all of his splendor is gone.
It's like going and watching a movie about James Bond in, like, I don't know, college, and you're just like, I mean, he's cool, don't get me wrong, but I kind of remember James Bond driving fast cars, going on dates with pretty women, and, having really cool drink orders at the bar, not hanging out in a college dormitory telling jokes.
I get it.
And so, it just kind of took away the magic, and by doing that, it robbed itself of its fun, because, like, it had some cool mechanics. Well, I mean, if you've never played 2, I would definitely recommend the pre-sequel, because then that's your introduction to the character, not the awesome one that they had in Borderlands 2.
I get it.
That would be my recommendation.
My least favorite game of the last 5 years is actually Ruby Grim Eclipse.
Really?
Yeah. I bought, because I'm a huge fan of Ruby, the anime. But the game is just a generic, like, God of War clone. Where it's like, you're all playing as these awesome characters, but they just don't feel awesome in the ways that their characters are supposed to be. So it's like, you can play as, you know, Ruby, Yang, Blake, Weiss, and anybody from Team Juniper. But it's just like, I don't care. It's just like, oh, okay, cool, defeat these Grimm. And move on to the next area to defeat more Grimm. And move on to the next area to defeat more Grimm. And press the same button 375 times. Just like, I feel like I should have really liked this game, but I just don't.
I dig
Because
it.
it feels like there's not the care and love and attention. Like, the voice acting, on point. The dialogue, iffy, because there's not much story to the game. I got to, like, the fourth level, and I was like, but the levels are the same. If you've beat level 1, you've beat all the other levels. So it just
I dig it.
felt hollow. So it's like, I feel like I should have enjoyed this, but I don't. Make it my least favorite.
I would have to say that repetitiveness is what makes a game really, really really disappointing. Where it's like, you know, Fallout games are, hey, go to this place and shoot somebody or press something there. But they do a really good job at that in Skyrim of, like, changing who it is you're attacking as well as the skill abilities as well as the environment and everything else. But if it's, like, a scroller game and it's the same thing over and over again, you're just like, I don't know why. The Homefront, basically, it didn't change anything in its mission to mission, which is why I hated it too.
Alright, fair game. So, anything else?
No, not for me.
Sam?
I think that's good.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about gaming news and then also some movie news. Doug, do you want to go ahead and pull up our socials so we can talk about that a little later?
For sure, for Rizzle.
Okay, the gaming news. Twitch bought exclusive Overwatch League streaming rights for reported $90 million.
What?
That seems like a lot.
That's
You know what? It does, but at the same time, it's totally worth it on their point. Because there is a lot of grounds for it. Like, I've seen a lot of commercials for it, and I'm like, you know, this is cool. Like, the first official Overwatch League. It's not just groups of people coming together to form a league. It's an official thing. It's like when they play, you know, the StarCraft finals. It's like, that's cool. I watch it. They have ads on it. It's beneficial for them. Especially when they get to go, hey, is that an Overwatch League match on YouTube? Yep. Banned.
Yeah.
Yep. Boom. You only get to watch it on Twitch. Unless it's the, like, I don't know, does Twitch have a YouTube channel?
I'm actually not sure. I
But it's
don't
like-
think that they
Pulling
would.
that up right now. Continue.
But it's like, so they get to have exclusive rights to it. They
Wait, I
are...
have a question.
Yeah.
So I know on our YouTube channel we have a few Overwatch videos. Do we need to take those down? And I think that it affects other creators as well.
It doesn't, because it's not official Overwatch League with a logo and everything. It's like how you can you can have baseball games that aren't MLB, but ESPN owns MLB. So if it's an MLB full game on a different platform, ESPN can go, you need to take that down.
Okay, I just want to double check.
Which actually makes me think that I would actually like to see Twitch get more exclusivity to it. Because actually, I'd really like to see like a restaurant or like a sports bar that does a lot more esports.
Yes.
Because it's not determined by season, like weather, season, or anything. It's like, cool, you can watch an Overleague match any time of year. You can watch a League of Legends match any time of year. Or a StarCraft any time of year. I think it would be really cool to be able to go get buffalo wings, you know, grab a pint and watch Overwatch with your friends instead of going, hey guys, let's get together in my living room and watch this. It's like, well, that's cool, but I want it to gain more mainstream popularity. And I think by having an exclusive channel that's doing that, I would actually love that. If Twitch got more exclusivity and actually was able to build almost a television channel.
It's true. The other thing about Twitch is that it seems that a lot of more people are moving to that platform, mostly because of the controversies that have come out with YouTube in the last couple of months, whether it's their advertising, whether it's how they're censoring different things along those lines. As much as I love YouTube, and I will still have my YouTube account and follow YouTubers, it seems that Twitch is making it a little bit easier for content creators and streamers to put their name out there.
Yeah, I totally get that. Because it's built for gamers, so. Moving to movie news. Black Panther beats Fandango's MCU pre-order ticket sales record.
That's actually really important.
Yeah.
I think it is. Because I'm actually really looking forward to Black Panther.
I really am too. And the reason being is that I think it's the first time that a black character has been portrayed as the main character of a movie for all the Marvel movies, except for, what was that brief Netflix series they had on there?
Luke Cage?
Yeah, where it was like, yeah, it was okay.
Well, and I actually have a problem with Luke Cage.
Really?
Because they absolutely... And, okay, let me be very clear. I'm not exactly, person number one to talk about this. But they portrayed him almost as still being a stereotype.
Really?
Of being... Luke Cage, it's like, oh, he's the tough guy on the streets who was raised in the streets and is tough and it was part of a gang at one point. It's like, yeah, but just because he's a hero doesn't mean that he's not a stereotype.
True.
Whereas with Black Panther, it's like, no, he's the richest man in the MCU universe.
Yeah, and he's royalty.
He's royalty. And he is a really cool superhero. Much better, and he's not anyone's sidekick. Whereas Falcon is Captain America's sidekick. For some reason.
Yeah, well, it goes down through, like, all the Iron Man movies. You had the black sidekick. You had this guy, and it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Doctor Strange, even, the sidekick who eventually becomes the bad guy. I mean,
Yeah. But I'm actually, like, at first I was like, Black Panther, and then I seen a trailer, and I was like, I'm in. And then now, like, it breaks the records, and I'm like, I am 100% in. Because... Go ahead.
My hope is that they don't turn it into another stereotype movie. Like, oh man, let's go ahead and let's make every stereotype about this culture that we can. And it's like, no, I really don't want to see that movie. I want to see something more along the lines of, hey, he becomes the respectable man that we know in the new movies that there are, instead of trying to be like, oh, let's go ahead and let's be as stereotypical as we can, like the Luke Cage series.
Yeah, I get you. I'll go see any MCU movie, pretty much.
Pretty much.
They've got me by the wallet.
I've still not seen Thor.
You what?
You didn't see
I've still not seen Thor yet.
The original or Ragnarok?
Even Dark World.
Oh, in that case, you should go do that, because I just saw Ragnarok like 2 weeks ago. It was great.
I seen this post. It was like, watch an MCU movie every week. And by the time you finish them all, it'll be the release week of Infinity War.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm excited to go see Black Panther and broke Fandango pre-order tickets.
Hey.
So it's like, and even Star Wars didn't do that. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. The record was MCU pre-order tickets, so Star Wars does not fall into that. But it beat out Captain America, Avengers, and everything. So I think it's good.
Nice.
You know what's also really exciting about this? It's
that?
not just that it's a big thing because he is not a sidekick. It is a big thing that he's not a sidekick. He's not one of the big five. It wasn't up until like Ant-Man that anyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man, because I have no idea who they are.
It's true.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, we don't, for lack of better words, go back and watch Captain America Civil War and realize we do not have any backstory to Black Panther.
The other thing is that it paints a country in Africa in good light. Like, even though it's a made-up country, at the same time, everybody has the stereotypical view that every country in Africa is just basically wildlands and sands and a whole bunch of poverty.
You can pretty much you can thank Neil Blomkamp for District 9 and Chappie for that.
Yeah, but it's like this one goes
Yeah.
through and this recreates a scenario where it's like, hey, there's a functioning society where there are African countries that there is a functioning society, but unfortunately the stereotypes kind of go through and are all over the news, unfortunately.
I would really like a line, and this is... I would really like Black Panther to look at someone and go, something along the lines, and forgive me for saying this, we're Africans, not savages. And he just turns around and walks away from them like, dude.
Yeah.
That would be a good line.
You are in my sovereign nation using my vibranium in my metropolis. You need to step off.
It is true.
Nice. Alright, let's move on to releases this week. We only got a couple. Street Fighter V Arcade Edition for PC and PS4 on the 16th.
Sweet.
Are
And-
you getting that,
No.
Sam?
If I hadn't have purchased the Civilization 5, I may have.
Yeah.
And then Monster Hunter World Open Beta for PS4 on the 19th.
Nice.
Yes.
I will be playing it. So,
I know you, one of our coworkers, Sam, and then one of my old coworkers. Like, we're all big into Monster Hunter.
I'm in the process of converting one of my coworkers as well. Like, why? Anyway,
You know-
Doug, do you want to run through our socials?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Real fast, Sam, are you possibly considering Monster Hunter on the PC when it comes out later this year?
I am, but this will be... Remember, if I do not like it, it falls back all on Doug, not on the Monster Hunter game itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it is, I think I would even fund Derrick to get it on his PC, because a lot of fun of Monster Hunter is playing with other people, so that way you can blame your defeat on them as well.
There you go.
Like, I can be playing with Derrick, and then, like, we wipe, and I'm just like, Derrick, come on. You missed the opportunity.
Even though you got totally royally owned by whatever creature was
Oh,
around the
yeah.
corner.
It's easier for me to sleep at night if I have someone else to blame.
There you go.
Cool. Let's go over our social media profiles. We are on Instagram. It's Gaming and a Chill Podcast. One word. We're working on... Well, I'm working on trying to add more stuff to that because I don't know what to put on Instagram, like, ever. Yeah.
Fair.
Twitter, we are at gaming_in_chill, and you can use that as long as the hashtag Gaming and Chill Podcast to chat with us and kind of throw some feedback and build that community.
We really appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Looking at my social media profile page, I noticed that our website is gamingandchillpodcast.com. So definitely go check us out there. We're constantly reinventing it and rebuilding it, which includes one of our other rebuilds, which is an introduction to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/gamingandchill. Derrick, would you like to talk about the Patreon for a few seconds?
Yes, our Patreon, like you said, is gamingandchill.com.
Patreon.com/gamingandchill.
That would be the correct one. And you can sponsor as little as $1 a month or as much as $100 a month. And that's for one person. For right now, our goal is $500 a month. So that we can get dedicated recording studio. So that way we can put more content out and have a dedicated space for creating. Because right now we all run it out of living rooms and bedrooms and spare closets.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
much.
someone's running it in a closet somewhere.
Technically, Micah's could be considered that.
I told you. So it's just something that, as a listener, as a viewer, you can almost participate in. There's different rewards from getting to watch content early to getting to do live events with us and possibly play games with us. Maybe you can be on a Monster Hunter video, and you get to view content early. Which, if that's your thing, you can do that. So yeah, it's patreon.com/gamingandchill, and we appreciate it. Let me word this better than I was attempting to. We appreciate everything that we're given.
Yes.
From as little as $1 to as much as $100. we appreciate it no matter what.
Oh, yes.
Because it's your way of saying, hey, I like what you're doing, keep it up, and thank you.
Yeah.
So, anything else, gentlemen?
We do also have a Cafe Press.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. cafepress.com/gaming and chill.
Yep.
was
We're
from
working on some shirt designs. I know we're trying to make a one from playing PUBG from the Streamageddon on the 1st.
Yeah.
The crossbow's OP, please nerf.
Yes.
I'm working on that.
And then, of course, you can always find us at YouTube at Gaming and Chill. Just look us up. It might be easier for Gaming and Chill podcast. That's what I search.
Mm-hmm.
And we are like 9 out of 10 searches on that result.
Nice.
I also looked it up. We have almost 100 videos, so
Yes.
which blew my mind somehow.
Right. And so we are uploading like bite-sized news and things like that.
Mhm.
And we are happy to say, we mentioned it last week and we talked about it last week. We have basically the episode 0 of our D&D podcast pretty much done, right, Derrick?
Yeah, just got to put it onto a video slate and ready to upload.
Nice.
Yes, that will be, and that is actually one of those videos that is going to be for Patreon viewers only, because the episode 0.
I will put up the logo.
Cool.
I like that logo.
Yeah, I think it's
Me
pretty
too.
cool.
Yeah. So, anything else, gentlemen?
I think that's it.
Other than, praising the sun, we're good.
All right, gentlemen. Then until next week, everybody have a good one.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
See ya.